Welcome to this week's episode of Cork in the North. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much to everybody liking, sharing and subscribing. I hope you like the kind of newer set. Obviously, we have had this up a little wee while now. But yeah, back in the studio is the first person I ever had on this podcast, this time last year. Soon to be arena comedian. Fucking, that was a fast rise, wasn't it, Paddy?
Well, that was all right. Well, it isn't.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm doing it 12 years, so it's sort of...
Yeah, but like in terms of the last... Yeah, but what I'm saying is you've gone from 10, 11 years on the circuit, and then overnight, like 18 months later, boom, in arena. That's a bit of jump. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's
I know
like,
what you mean.
People always say, don't they, that it's overnight success. But you're like, well, it's 12 years in the making, overnight success. It's mad though, isn't it?
It is mad.
Like, the amount of people that send me your clips from Cork.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
like,
it.
people go, obviously the one you did with Shane about the five. I sent you a clip. Didn't that Kaylee Trapp do it on the lip sync?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I said, the amount of fucking people that are sending this to me. And I was like, yeah, I know who he is. He's on episode 1. Look back.
I know him. He's a prick.
He's not a prick. He's just too Catholic. So listen, it's good to have you back in. How was the festive period? Now, are you able to relax more?
January has been
because of
more.
what's happening in your career, or are you feel a bit more? People are expecting too much off you now.
No, I just sort of take it minute straight. It's not. I don't think really anything's changed. A lot of people don't really understand. Like, different comedians do different formats. I write a show a night before it started.
See, I couldn't do that.
And people are... a lot of comedians are like, I don't know how you do it. So
you don't work... So when you're doing the arena, which there are still some tickets available for...
Yeah, there's about 60 tickets left for.
Right, okay. And also, is there rumours that you may be doing a second arena?
There's rumours, but I don't know where they started. Maybe my management started that.
Your fucking accountant started that. Your wife started that, mate.
No, she didn't want me to do it. She says just do one. You don't need to do two. And she's probably right, but I don't know. It's just it's one of them things. I near enough will have to do a second one instead of like giving extra tickets out to the one that's already there, sort of thing.
Right.
So
and have your family asked you for one of the boxes in the SSE too?
They haven't asked me for it.
Have
no.
they asked? What?
Right enough.
So Sean, producer Sean is Paddy's brother. So Sean, are you going to the arena?
I'll be going.
You'll be going. Will you be in a box, or will you be a paid ticket? Like
You may be going.
what?
I'll need to get a ticket.
You need
No, when's your honeymoon?
In June. So
Oh, no, you can make it then. You can go.
Right. There's only 60 tickets left, Sean.
I know.
Sean gets married and then I do the arena.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, but that's a bit of a come down for his marriage, isn't it? Like, Sean, you got married, yeah, but Paddy's doing the arena. I'm with someone for the rest of my life, but Paddy's doing the arena. Like, if you think about it, what you got to assess now, Sean, is the people who you invite to your wedding who don't turn up, but then do turn up to the arena. You realise they're who your friends are, then, don't they?
I don't know. All his mates will go to that there.
Are you groomsman for Sean?
You know, he didn't ask me.
Okay, we're going to move on from that then, because I don't want to create any sort of family tension.
Didn't ask me.
He didn't ask you.
Best man,
do you know what, mate? I would have
good.
asked you because people would be like, oh, because you'll be making a speech and it'll be too funny and it'll just be
Right,
ridiculous.
so
You need
stealing the limelight.
I heard a rumour about Roy Keane. Now, I don't know if this is true. Roy Keane's sister got married in Cork. No, you can shoot me down for this. But Roy Keane's sister got married in Cork and he didn't go.
Because he didn't want to spoil it for her.
Didn't want to spoil it for her.
Did you ever hear my Roy
That's
Keane
what I know.
story?
Either that now or he's
Have
playing
you?
a match. I don't know. What was
Have
your
you
Roy?
heard the story I have of Roy Keane?
No?
So I got right and friendly with Neil Lennon when he was playing for Celtic.
Yeah.
And that was dead on. So Celtic were playing Clyde and it was Roy Keane's first match for Celtic.
Oh, right.
So it was like a big celebration. So we all started drinking like the night before. Get up 5:30 in the morning, got the boat over, and it was a Clyde, a wee tiny football ground, only held like.
Where is that? You went to Stranraer?
Went to Stranraer, yes, and then the bus up to Clyde.
How far is that?
It's just outside Glasgow.
It's probably like an hour and 30 or something. So it's just before you get to Glasgow. But it was a wee tiny ground. But because it was Roy Keane's first match, it was a big deal. But by the time we got there, we'd been drinking from the night before. And this is like 12:30 the next day. We hadn't been to bed in 2 days.
On the ferry and all that.
Drunk. And we got up to the game, and because it was so small and so tight, but it was a day like a day. It was like fucking -5. It was freezing.
He joined in January, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he joined
and
in
it was
January.
freezing, so it was a cup match. So this is like, they weren't meant to get beat or anything like that. And we went out, but Celtic were terrible. And I think we got beat.
I think that
Or with Drew. Well, or Drew or
Yeah.
Kabir. It was that drunk, I can't remember.
But it
But
was
I
a
was,
big event,
I was shouting. And you could hear me on the pitch. So, Lannon fell out with me, like, wouldn't talk to me for...
Is he manager at this point?
No, he was just playing.
Oh, he's still playing.
So I seen, like, he was coming over and shouting, shut up and all, you know, at the side, like. And I was like, and I was shouting to Roy King, come on, you Cork gypsy, do something. You're meant to be world class and all, know all this here at him. And so that was dead on. So Lannon didn't talk to me for about 3 months.
Really? How did you know he fell out with you, though? Like, did he
just
text
didn't
you?
just didn't answer the phone calls. He sent a text message after the match just saying, you're a dickhead. And then didn't reply to anything for ages. And then through a mutual friend, his book had come out. And he says, look, I have a signed shirt for Paddy and I'll sign the book, so I'll meet him outside the ground. But he used to run about with this big guy from Leicester called the Bear, and he had fucking big hands like bowling balls. He's baldy head. He was sort of like Lannon's bouncer in a sense. So he was always normally in the front. So if you met him, he would have said, jump in the back. So he pulled up in this murk, blacked out windows. And he went, jump in the front. And I jumped in the front outside the ground. It wasn't even a match day or anything. They would just be in the training. And I get in, and the next minute somebody grabbed me by the throat from the back seat. And I was choking. Like, do you know when somebody's grabbing you
Yeah.
and you think it's a mess about, but you're going, they don't realise how I can't breathe. And I started my face turning red. And then Lennon went, let him go. You didn't say he was going to do this. And next minute I heard the accent that he just went, who's a Cork gypsy now? What are you saying now? What are you saying now? Who's a hard man now when you're not in the fucking stands? And I was like, but I couldn't talk. And then he released me. And he just pointed and he went, fucking showed at me again. Cunt. And Lennon went, for fuck's sake, I didn't think you were going to really strangle him. Like.
Dead.
And Kenny just get out of the car and walked away.
Is that it?
And I was like, fuck me, you took that badly.
But, like, was he really angry at you?
Oh,
Like-
fucking full on. Like, that was 3 months later. So I don't know what happened, but I think Lennon said, tell him, here, I'm going to meet your man that was shouting at us at Clyde that day. And Keane was like,
I'll come for the crack.
oh, I'll come and I'll scare him a wee bit.
Did you see him
But he
on...
gave you a shirt. Though, didn't
What?
He gave you a shirt, though, didn't he?
I ended up getting the shirt, yeah. I don't think it was his.
That
I
is-
didn't think he was coming to me.
That is a typical weird thing to happen. Like, I'm going to fucking choke you to death, but why? But I'm also going to give you a gift. Like, I'm also going to give you the shirt. I'm going to give you the gift of life.
But he, yeah, so
That was your... Did you see him on the...
I seen him after.
Tommy... Did you see him on the Tommy Tiernan
Seen
show
him,
last
yeah,
week?
yeah.
What did you make of it? The Roy Keane was a guest on the Tommy Tiernan chat show, which is a chat show where basically Tommy Tiernan doesn't know who the guests are. And Patrick Keelty was on last week, and the week before Roy Keane was on.
Who's
and
Paddy Keatley?
Patrick Keelty. Never heard of Patrick Keelty? Interesting one. I think he does the arena as well.
he?
He's from Down. He's a comedian. He used to play minor for County Down.
Did he?
Did a bit of comedy in the Empire.
Never heard of him.
And married Kat Deely, and then he went off around.
I've heard of Cat Teely.
Yeah. You never heard of Patrick Keelty, no?
No.
No, interesting. Yeah, not many people do up the north, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go back to Roy Keane. But Roy Keane was on the Tommy Tiernan chat show. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch the full show, but what I seen was a clip of him talking about dating his wife.
Yeah. And he turned up and his wife didn't want to go cinema, didn't want to go for a meal, so
he
he just
dropped her
went,
back.
dropped her back home and see you later.
And she was like, what are you doing? And he says, well, you don't want to go to cinema. You don't want to go for something to eat. What else is there to do? See you later.
She gets out of the car, and the next night he goes, "Been married ever since." The classic Keane thing, though, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
But we were during COVID. We had to go over to England for something, and my friend ended up was buying a Mercedes off the owner of Everton,
right?
and he lives in a house in Hale, and this house was the first house in Hale. Hale's where all the footballers, all
Yeah,
the multimillionaires live. And this house that he lived in was the first house in Hale. It has its own postcode. There's nowhere else has that postcode, just that house. And out the back of him is the guy that owns B&M Bargains.
Right.
And then the next house down is Roy Keane.
Oh, really?
So we were all in the house, obviously, and we were saying about getting something to eat. And the girls, how it came about was a friend of mine's wife's cousin is marrying that man's daughter. Did you get that? So the owner of Everton, his daughter is marrying a friend of mine's wife's cousin, right?
Fayed Mashiri.
Huh?
Fayed Mashiri.
Hold on, let me get this right. The owner of Everton's
Daughter
daughter.
married my friend's wife's cousin.
Right.
Okay?
Wow.
I know. It's mental. It's not even mental, just that, like, they're from the Springfield, right? this my mates really hear this. They're from the Springfield, live in West Belfast here, right? And their daddy was Turkish or
Right.
Iraqi or Turkish, I can't remember. And the mummy was obviously from,
Get that one right. Get that one right.
was from thing, right?
I don't want to miss that up.
Yeah. And the mummy was from West Belfast, right? And then he had 3 kids to her. The daughter married the Prince of Jordan.
Go on.
The son married the owner of Everton. His daughter.
Right.
And the other daughter, she's a professional footballer for Northern Ireland. And I don't know, she was a Blackburn. I don't know what other club she's at. But she didn't marry anybody yet. But
She didn't marry yet?
She's lesbian.
Oh, okay.
So she hadn't married anybody yet.
Okay.
But like both of them, like one married the Prince of Jordan, which is absolutely mental.
Fucking hell.
Like wealth beyond
Oh,
wealth.
Prince of Jordan. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That is insane.
isn't it?
Oh, that is absolutely mental.
It's just I couldn't compute it all. Like
So you're over there,
so, I'm in the house, right?
right?
And the girls were having their hen party that night. So
In the house?
In the house, right? But the house is fucking
I imagine,
right.
yeah.
So we're in another part of the house. You wouldn't know there was anything else going on, and we were in the other part. And it was the owner of Everton, his 2 sons, the fella who's marrying his daughter from Belfast, my friend and me, right? And we're all sitting there, and they were like, "Do you want to get a pizza or something?" And because they were buying the Mercedes, the dad said to the son, "Why don't you take the Mercedes and let him drive it down till the pizza place, and then he can decide if he wants to buy it or not." And that was the deal. So we're reversing out of his driveway, and Roy Keane was walking his dogs.
Oh, here we go.
So he reversed out,
Love
and
this.
obviously Roy was just walking, and Roy's not stopping to let a car reverse out.
Okay. Of
But
course,
he's
why should
also-
he?
What?
Why should he? He's from Cork. He can do the fuck he wants.
But he also wasn't just going to walk straight on. So he just stopped and looked in the back window, and the son went, "Oh fuck, it's Roy Keane." And I turned around and looked, and he just looked at me, and he went, with the eyes, "I know that cunt,
Yeah,
but I have a beard and all that.
so he probably looked at you.
I'm probably overweight." So
Yeah.
he was going, "I know that fucking face."
We probably might have
I'm
been.
wondering, did he ever know? Fuck, that's a cunt called me a cock tipsy. Now he's just trying to run me down the muck and the fucking owner of Everton. Yeah, I've always wondered, did he know it was me? Because the look.
But are you still in touch with Neil Lennon?
No.
But see, does Neil Lennon know you're a comedian now?
Yeah.
Right, would Neil Lennon maybe send Roy some of your clips? Remember that guy? Do you see what I'm
5
saying?
brands,
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would be interesting. Maybe he knows.
I would say Roy Keane doesn't laugh at anything like that. I would say that Roy Keane wouldn't enjoy like going there, even if it was the best comedian in the world. I would say Roy Keane
I
would sit
think
there
he
with his legs
does.
full and going. He
I
was
reckon-
average at best, and
I reckon he would sit in the house and watch TikToks, but he wouldn't let a single soul know.
No, do you know what? I actually think out of the camera, I think he's, from what I've heard, he's supposed to be fucking a great laugh. But the minute a camera goes on,
Yeah.
he knows his persona of the hard
Absolutely.
man is what sells. And he's thinking, look, if I'm not going to be a football manager, I want to be a pundit.
do you think Roy Keane's sitting in the house with fluffy slippers on? I nearly couldn't get that out. And a wee fucking house coat and all.
No, but I think he's much more
Homer
relaxed
Simpson
than
jammies.
you think he is. When he's at home and when he's around people that he knows and he trusts. But I think when he comes out into the sort of like restaurants or TV, it's basically like, right, people want me because I'm a hard man. Do you really think his wife is attracted to that? Do you think his wife loves that guy who doesn't laugh and smile? I'd say he's a fucking alright. I'd say he's a great laugh at home. I'd say he's a great guy. I'd say he's absolutely chilled out. But the thing is, we don't get any of it, and that's why it's so intriguing.
I don't think he's
Because
as
we
hard as
don't
he
know.
makes out, either.
I don't think he's as hard as he makes out either. No.
I'll fail him in charity, like if he wants to.
Yeah. How's your training coming along for the big
Yeah,
boxing?
it's going great. Yeah,
Who you're boxing?
Roland Boyle,
Fucking hell, that's Strabane, isn't it? He's from Strabane, yeah. And
kickboxer, UFC fighter.
I was.
I got the short straw, Andrew. What do you think?
What? He's a kickboxer,
Yeah, he was a kickboxer and an
but you
MMA
can't
fighter.
kick you in a fucking boxing match. So what are you worried about?
Oh, well, I suppose you're right.
He's not going to kick you, is he? You got to use
You
his
never
fists.
know. You never know.
Well,
he
he-
might forget.
Yeah, but is he fit?
What?
What is it? Three 2-minute rounds.
3? No, minute. Just minute.
3 1 minute.
minute, yeah.
Well, I was down to fight, so I was booked in
And
to
then
fight.
your balls dropped. I heard that.
No, my balls didn't drop. It's just that they decided they wanted to run the gig on the 11th of February, which is the same night that I sold out the Black Box Theatre. So I actually tried to move the gig so I could do the fighting.
And it wouldn't happen.
I couldn't move the gig. And then I went back and I just said, is there any... I was a bit like...
I heard the gig was on the 10th and you got it moved to 11th because of the boxing.
Do you know what? But I wouldn't have been able to fight it anyway. The boxing... I had my boxing license taken off me years ago because of the two fellas I killed.
Is that right?
I don't want to kill again, Paddy. I don't want to go in. I don't want to go into the ring again and do the damage that I've been doing on the streets.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Do you know what? Somebody who's a Catholic from down south up here killing people, it could start something off again.
Well, I say killing people.
This is like The Fall, only like the southern fucking character.
Yeah. There's trouble in it, but it's not from the people you think it is. No, but I would have loved, because I'm like, look at me, I'm in fucking great
There's
shape.
a Cork
man.
guy floating about the Protestant estates.
And he's just like this.
He's just killing people with one punch.
I want to kill. I want to knock 6 people out for the 6 counties. Come on.
This is for the rebel county, you whore, you.
I know, man, but I really wanted to fight in it, and I was well up for it. And but the dates clash. So apparently, there's rumor has it. I genuinely think they should do it every year, but they shouldn't do boxing. They should do wrestling next year, but have a storyline in it. And what you could have a Royal Rumble. And you could have
Are you wanting to get sweaty and
no, but what I'm
about
saying
for
is
men?
like
Is that
you could be in a wrestling match.
places
You
you
could
can
be in
go,
a
you don't
tag
have to
team.
do
You
it.
could be in a tag team, right? And next thing you know, mud podcast wrestling or something like that. And then halfway through, lights flash, and then someone storms the ring halfway through. It's much more funnier, and you can have a storyline. Whereas boxing is great; it's going to be great for charity and all that. But also the wrestling, you can really get more people involved in the ring. Do you see what I'm saying? And you can have like a story. You can have like breaking chairs over people's backs and all that kind of stuff. So I think next year the NI comedy scene should do a wrestling. But if they want to do boxing, do boxing. But you know,
Well, there might be. This might be a bit of disclosure here on your show because I haven't told anybody this.
this is a premiere.
There might be a big UK and Ireland wide UFC comedians charity fight coming up. At the
Comedians
end of the-
doing UFC.
quite possibly.
I'm busy that night.
Quite possibly.
I'm gigging that night. What night is that? I'm gigging.
You could be killing. You'd be killing already there.
There's no way I'm doing UFC, man. There's no way I can't. No. I couldn't do
Would you do the
UFC.
wrestling though?
I do the wrestling.
Do you not
and
think the wrestling's just as bad? Because like
No, but
wrestling's
you get trained with the wrestling. Wrestling's only kind of fake slapping.
Yes,
Like.
you get trained doing the charity boxing as well. That doesn't mean that somebody's going to fucking not punch you in the balls because they're training in fucking 4 or 5 weeks. Mickey Bartlett's, Shane Todd's. Do you think they're going to know exactly what they're like?
William's not fighting, is he?
He couldn't lift the chair above his fucking head anyway to hit you. Fuck's sake, he didn't even turn up for your podcast today, didn't he?
I know he didn't. William was supposed to be on the podcast this morning.
Done that in Shane. Shane went fucking mental.
What happened?
Shane was eating a burger and chips, waiting and fucking me and him to come in to do a double podcast. And fucking Willie sent a message and went, "Where's the link for this fucking podcast?" And Shane went, "What are you talking about, a link?" And he went, "A link for it. Zoom." And Shane went, "It's fucking live in the studio, you mad cunt." And he went, "Oh, right, I'm still in bed." Shane fucking, like, had a half-eaten burger and chips and just fucking crunched them up and fucked them in the bin, fucking called them everything.
Really?
Shane denied it. Shane, and I said to
Shane
Willie,
denied it.
I said to Willie, he was fucking raging, and Willie was like, "What do you mean?" I says, "He had a burger and chips and he fucked it in the bin." Do you know what he said to me? Nah, Shane doesn't eat burgers.
Oh my God.
And Shane this day goes, no, I didn't. He fucking did.
We're going to start a war here now.
Because what he says, Shane went, like he was in here yesterday. He was in the studio yesterday. So he knew we were coming into the studio. Shane was fucking livid, like.
I know, yeah. So William was supposed to turn up to do a Patreon episode on my podcast, and sitting here waiting for him to walk in, and then I messaged him. I said, "Where are you?" And he just went, "Oh shit, I forgot." But that kind of shit needs to be beaten out of him. You know, all these fucking young comics. That's why I hope he was fighting in a boxing match. Someone could fucking... He'd be late to the fucking ring as well, I bet
He
you.
wouldn't turn up.
He wouldn't turn up. He'd be late to the fucking ring. He'd be like, "Oh, it's me DLA."
My car fucking broke down.
Yeah, exactly. So you're fighting Ronan Boyle. Are you excited about it? Are you nervous? Have you had a fight before? a legal fight before?
Illegals? Loads of illegal fights.
No, a legal fight. This is a legal fight. Have you got to get licenses for this? Is this like a white collar license or something, or is there some sort of licensing you have to do, or do you have to sign some sort
If
of
there is,
disclaimer?
nobody has.
What if
fucking said.
somebody, you know?
I think we're all getting medicals before it.
I think you should have had the medicals because some of you mightn't pass the medical on the day. Like,
Oh, but
trust me, I know the NI comedy scene.
the
Some of you
fella-
will
the
not
fella-
pass the medical on the
fella
day.
the fella that's doing the medicals does get you DLA as well.
So basically, what's that? Oh, well, let me tell you this: every comedian who's doing the fighting will now pass their medical on the day.
You know, brain damage. Oh,
Brain damage. Oh, sure, that's good to
that's
go. Your right test. Just swap that one over there. Just swap that bottle with that one. We have a couple of kids out there, lads. You need to piss into these bottles. We need to swap these bottles over.
Some people's medicals are just going to cost more than others.
Yeah.
The brain.
Listen, there's a new.
I'm here for my medical. What's your name? Paddy Mcdonnell. Clear. Are you nervous though? Really? But like, Ronan's a big lad, and you're a big lad. So I imagine, like, what's the weight on the? What's the size of the gloves? What
16
ounce?
ounce, I think.
So that's the least
I
harmful
wanted just
one,
glass
isn't
and glue, no bandages.
it? Yeah.
No, like kickboxer.
Right.
That's what I wanted.
And how are you motivating yourself? What's the training?
Sort of just training every morning. Just now, I haven't trained in 3-4 days now because I've been a wee bit sick and I was away in Glasgow. But
Right.
back in,
So what are you doing? Skipping, boxing in the gym, and
no
who's
skin, just training.
just doing a bit of fighting? I've a feeling that's going to be an interesting fight, the two of you, because you both I think you know how to you're experienced enough in
not
the
gonna-
fight game.
I'm not. I've already said. Tell him it's. For
I didn't know what
charity.
to say there. I don't know why I dug a hole there for
I
myself.
like him, so it's not. I don't
know.
have a grudge.
Oh, but everyone
you know.
likes each other. It's a charity. It's a
Yeah,
laugh.
But that's what I mean. I don't want to knock anybody out because it would feel a bit shit if I knocked somebody out. Do you know what
Do you
I mean?
want to win on points?
Just I want to just have 3 good rounds of boxing and entertain everybody. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
But I was saying to him, it's like, even if yous are best mates, you have to put on the.
No,
Like,
we're going to hit each other. Like
but
we've
not
already
even
agreed.
that.
We're going to.
Beforehand, in the conference, like the press conference and stuff, have to pretend like yous are slobbering and stuff.
Just knock that off.
But what are you doing in terms of the beef? Are you creating beef with Ronan? Is there any?
I don't do shit talk.
You don't do shite talk.
I
No?
can't do it if it's
I've seen it
not
on your
real.
Instagram though. Didn't somebody put up an Instagram with a life insurance policy or something like that? Someone was like, make sure so and so has their life
The one
insurance
the one
organised.
that I've seen like is Pete Giffen or
Right.
Griffin or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Craig Giffen. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like saying your wife and kids and all don't like you and all
Who's he
this.
fighting?
Sean Haggerty. He's going to get his balls knocked in.
Oh, he shouldn't be doing. Sean's an animal, mate. Sean Hegarty, I think, is one of the secret animals that will kick the fuck out of you.
Sean's extremely strong.
Exactly. And my point is, it's always the quiet people are the ones that have the people
But
who are quieter are the ones that are
really
hurt
shit
you.
talking, like really shit talking. So I think Sean's going to take his fucking head off.
Wow. I really.
do, like.
That's gonna be. I finished my show at 10:00. What time's the last ring walk? Do you know?
I don't know. I
Because
don't
I'm
know
across the
any
road,
time
so I'm
shit.
gonna
the
miss it. I'll
last
have to
day.
watch it on the
You
video.
can get in, and there isn't going to be a video. There's just no seats taken out for fucking video and all. So the boxers didn't get any tickets for their family or friends.
Really?
We had the press conference at the same time as the fucking thing went out. And the people who were fucking selling the tickets was at the press conference.
Do you know what? This could have sold out the arena. This would have done the arena. You know.
100%. And it sold out in 5 minutes. So they never held any tickets. They didn't
Realize.
expect it was going to have that much.
Oh, but sure. Listen.
People want to see blood more than they want to see jokes.
I think it's going to be. I'm absolutely got it because I was really excited to be fighting.
Who are you going to fight?
I was fighting Darren.
He'd have knocked your fucking. He's
Oh, he'd have
fit as
killed
fuck.
me. Yeah. No, but to see, like, he would have. Yeah, but like, you know, I would have bit him or something. I kind of just fucking bit him.
He
Like,
would have knocked your.
oh yeah, he's a GA head. Like, he's not afraid of
He's
fucking going in.
Bestbrook
Be-
on the border.
So he's like South
Well
Armagh
trained.
kind of fucking.
He's been trained and not the Boy Scouts. If you know.
When
what
he's been trained in uniform, but not the Boy Scouts.
I mean. Yeah.
Yes, I think
Like the British still have
I have a
this guy in
feeling
a
I would have
helicopter.
failed my medical for that.
I
one.
know for a fact that Darren Matthews has fucking hit a hurling ball at a helicopter in his time.
What?
Yeah, so no like a British Army helicopter coming in.
Yeah, and the boys start whacking hurleys at him.
They flew in. Look, Darren fucking hit the helicopter were a hurling ball in his garden. It was that low, and then the fucking landed. The whole army landed into the fucking field, and we're like, one of the boys hit the helicopter with the darn fucking.
Yeah,
you have
see.
guys hanging out of a helicopter.
Do you know what?
with
I'm
guns,
so.
and he hits a hurling ball at it.
Do you know what? I'm so gutted that I couldn't fight him now. Because there's nothing like people say like
You dodged the
getting on top of the fucking British
dodged-
Army. He's well able to take on the British Army. I don't think he's going to be scared of fucking
with
me
with a hurling stick.
with a hurling
They
stick.
call him Q Cullen in South Armagh.
They call him Coo Cullen.
You want to take on the British Army? It's early.
Yeah, come on, no. It's like the wind that shakes barely. Do you ever see that film?
Well, the British. Yeah, my mate Shane is in that. Like you know.
Oh, but he wasn't in the Ra, was he?
No, he wasn't
He's
in
an
the
actor. He couldn't have saved you, like.
Yeah. So anyway, tell me, Paddy, you got the
What is
SS.
it?
No, just go ring on her. Who's saying is everything all right?
No, it's alright. Just give her the thing.
Paddy's actual daughter is here. We'll keep her. What's your daughter's name?
Kriya.
Kriya. Hi, Kriya. How are you? You good? She looks like like a Russian doll, you know, with the hat, like one of those Russian kids, you know, the big hats in them they wear in Russia. Hi, Kriya. How are you? Yeah, I'm from the south. Zero crack. Is she like that? Does she get odd with people when she doesn't know them? Kids do that, don't they?
Yeah.
That's Uncle Sean is there, Uncle Paddy. I'm Daddy Paddy and Uncle
Yeah.
Paddy. So tell me, so you're doing the SSE, and what in terms of this show that you're doing the SSE? Is this a new show?
Yeah,
Have you
it's
written
going
the
to be
show?
stories.
So is this a best of? What is it? Tell me.
No, well, stories is I'm fed up with doing gigs and people going, here, you never said about this, or you said, no, like maybe we clips I've seen on a podcast of a story and they don't know the full story or they haven't heard the full story.
Right. Okay.
And people turn up at gigs and it's like requests, like they go to me, oh, can you not do this bit, can you not do a bit? So there's an element of that. A few stories that I've never had in actual stand-up that I've done maybe on podcasts.
Okay.
I'm going to do them as the stand-up bit.
Right.
And then there's going to be stories that people haven't heard anywhere.
Right. And where are you warming it up?
The SSC, on 12th of May.
So you're literally going in straight.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I might do one or two, I don't know. I've done 2 bits of it, like as a warm-up, like literally 2 5-minute bits. I went, yeah, they're all right.
Are you doing them at the Empire?
No, I haven't done them at the Empire.
Paddy, you're going into the SS. I mean, the balls on you. like I've been a comedian 12, 13 years myself, maybe 14 years now. And the thought of going out, like, I mean, fucking hell, man.
It seems
It's exciting, isn't it?
but it's worked. Like it's worked.
Yeah, but that's
before.
your style, though. So
Yeah,
it's fine.
no.
Like Ross Noble is very similar. Like Ross Noble does a lot. Ross Noble will go out. You could watch Ross Noble 2 nights in a row. It'd be 2 different shows.
Yeah. Well, when I done the show, like when I took it on tour and I done the Waterfront, the On the Tools too, people were like, everywhere I seen you, there was people seen me 3 or 4 times in that, and they went, everywhere I seen you, it was slightly different.
That's good. No,
So you're adapting.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your Waterfront because I heard a rumour.
Right?
You might be able to confirm this now or not. One thing here at Cork in the North headquarters is that we've been doing last year is we have been emailing, DMing, messaging Michelle O'Neill to get her to come onto the podcast because Michelle was born in Cork. And I heard that she was at your Waterfront
Was she born
show.
in Cork?
She was born in Cork, yes.
Her ones must have been on the run, would it?
No, this is the thing. I want her to come on and
Right.
talk to her, right? I'm sure if there's an election.
How do you know she was?
I saw her do an interview down south. She talked about being born in Cork, but I think her family were working down there for a short term, and she just ended up being
were
born.
working down
I don't know the exact. I
See,
don't.
when you find Northern people had kids down south, they weren't in Butlins. Do you know what I mean? They weren't in Mosney for the week.
They were there for a while. They
Aye, you know,
they had to move for
I have
a while.
few friends who, you know, they were born in Dundalk and stuff like that.
Because they had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd say Michelle is a bit different. That's what I want to find out.
Oh.
So I want to get her on. Now, she apparently was at your gig at the Waterfront.
I cannot confirm or deny if she was there because I'll tell you why. I have loads of photos of people with her going in till the show.
But she was at the show, mate.
I know, but I don't know. Was she at the show?
She was at the show.
I don't know.
Because she was going into the show. And I know somebody that was in the show said that she was in the show.
Right, okay.
So, but do you know her?
No. I can't confirm or deny.
That is the
Hold
most
on.
Republican.
This woman's from the north and
This
she's
is the
born
most-
down in Cork, and you want me to say, can I get her on the show as if I know her? No, I don't know her. I'm friends on Instagram. That's as far as it goes.
She follows you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you? Okay. Has she ever contacted you about anything?
No.
There's something fucking going on here. Like, there's a fucking vibe about you today, Paddy, that is about suspicion and fucking money laundering. There's just something going on. Like, there's
The
like,
smell of diesel off
the
you.
smell of, you've come in today. You've brought your child in. There's something to do with the fucking maintenance there or something. I don't know. Right? There's a fight. You're fighting. You're fighting. You're doing the SSC. There's fucking the head of the Sinn Féin are coming to see you secretly. Next of a sudden, you've sold out the fucking arena. Like, I tell you, man, there's fucking something going on with you. I guarantee you, if Spotlight NI did a fucking investigation into Paddy Mcdonnell, the
Do
comedian,
that fucking nerve fucking
the
start
whole
that.
NI comedy seemed to be like, I can neither confirm or deny Paddy was on that gig with me. But he was hosting it because I didn't see him hosting. but you got to understand, because he brought you onto the stage, but I wasn't looking at him when I walked onto the stage.
You're asking too many fucking questions.
Do you know what? When a Northern Irish person says to a Southerner, you're asking too many fucking questions, I think it's time to back off on the questions. So, your children, Paddy, how are they? So, you've never met her? The silence tells me you've met Michelle O'Neill.
I don't know if I have.
You don't know if you have. Have you ever seen her in a pub or something? No.
can't-
She has a social life, just like anyone else.
I think I have met her. I think I have met her. I don't think I've been in her company drinking. I don't think I've had a meal with her. I think I've met her briefly.
You don't think you've had a meal with her?
That's what I mean. Like I thought, you're going. Have
You think
met
you've
her?
like, oh hiya, kind of thing?
I
like,
think that, yeah.
just a
She's been with people and I've been with people and we're walking past each other or something and they were like, hey,
And then-
there's Michelle
and
and,
then-
fucking such and such.
and then you're like going, I can't confirm or deny that this has happened. Or
So I would be a liar to say if I've met her or not. You know,
But you've-
even before she became First Minister and came to prominence, I don't know if I met her before that even.
because I emailed.
I may have been in the Gaeltacht with her. I don't know.
You may have been what?
In the Gaeltacht with her. Do you know what I mean? I just don't know.
Is that the English? That's the Irish for McGavery, is it?
That's the Irish. That's the Irish for training camp. Donegal.
Training camp in Donegal. I went to the game tucked once.
No,
right?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I used to go to Tyrone quite a lot when I was younger. When I met ones from.
She's from
Gary
Tyrone,
Moore.
isn't she?
Well, that's what I mean. So I don't know if I did know her.
Yeah, because I would love to get her onto the podcast because I just be interested.
Is that her married name? Is it?
I don't know if she's married.
You know an awful lot about her.
I don't know that much about her, to be honest with
You
you.
need to
Like,
stop
all
asking
I
questions about her,
know
that's
is
all
that she
I'm
was
saying.
born. I just want to get her onto the podcast. That's all. This is a plea from Cork
Do
in
you
the North.
fancy her?
No, I don't.
Because we're
I think
actually,
he do. I think he
we're
does.
actually O'Neill's from Cork. Me and him.
Whoa,
Or
whoa,
not
whoa, whoa!
From Cork, sorry, Tyrone.
Not from Tyrone.
You're
We're
O'Neill's from
actually
Tyrone, so your mum was an O'Neill.
No.
No.
My dad's ones are O'Neill's from Tyrone.
But how come you're not O'Neill then? Why all of a sudden? What the fuck? Hold on a second. If your dad's an O'Neill, why are you
He's
not?
an O'Neill and a Campbell from Tyrone, yeah.
But you're Mcdonnell.
I know.
But you normally take your dad's name.
You're asking too fucking many questions.
There's something going on here today. Like, I've got a feeling like I'm going to be ringing in Stephen Nolan tonight, just going, Stephen, I was only a short chat with him. I can't confirm. I don't know why that happened or who this. Okay, so
My dad was adopted.
okay, lovely.
So his original family were Campbells and O'Neills
From Tyrone,
from Coal Island, yeah.
and have you? So your dad's adopted, right? Okay, and have you ever met his original family?
I've met his cousin.
So your dad's cousin, and are they still roughly down there? Do you think?
They're all there, yeah.
And is there any? No, that's an interesting kind of thing. And how would your dad feel about all that kind of stuff?
My
Be
dad
adopted?
sort of...
Does he? Because you know those TV shows
My
like Long
dad
Lost
sees
Family.
His family is the Mcdonnells that brought him up in Belfast. Like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think in the back of his head, he always really wanted to find out just who his daddy was and what happened and why he was give up. Do you know, that way? But he didn't want to do that when his mummy and daddy was alive, who raised him. You know, the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then when they sort of passed, and then his brother passed, he went, because he only had one brother, which was their son, Jim. And he as a mark of respect for them, because they adopted him and raised him, I don't think he
Yeah.
ever wanted to really. But then I done a wee bit of investigation more than other people, and then done ancestry and done the DNA, and then they all popped up. You know.
And they obviously are still knocking around today, which is interesting, like an hour or so down the road.
His mummy and all still live, yeah.
Really? That's funny. Because you know that TV show, Long Lost Family? Jesus, like, I find that fascinating, you know, because people don't realise that, you know, for whatever reason adoption happens, it could be whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's never an easy decision to do for anybody. But also, I suppose there's always that thing above you, that questions like, why did that happen though? Like, and
No, you
like
have
that,
a lot of unanswered questions, and I actually probably have more interest in it than most. And I don't know if my interest is just because I'm always interested in history and where you're from. And I always sort of did like have that feeling that, you know, there was more like in Tyrone and stuff like that. There, you know, when you were in it, you sort of went. And then I always went up and run about with people in Tyrone and stuff, and you were going, why? Why do I like it up here so much? You know, it's a mad thing. And then where I was in America, we actually have like a great-grandmother. It'd be my great-great-grandmother was from where I lived in America, which is mental. Out of all the places, she came from there and came back to Ireland.
It's like when you go to Tyrone, your body just feels a bit comfortable because your DNA is around there.
And then when I was over there, you know, I don't know, that could be weird, but you always just felt that something. Do you know what I mean?
And do they know about you and Sean and stuff?
Some of them do.
And do they know you're a comedian?
Yep.
Have they ever reached out to you?
No, I reached out to them.
And did it?
And it sort of hasn't went anywhere. But it's one of them ones where, you know, not everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Even when I done the DNA, then there was cousins of my dad's mum, like, didn't even know that she had a kid because she never had kids, as far as they knew it. Do you know what I mean?
And this is like, I suppose, what are we talking? Are we talking the 50s here?
The 50s, yeah. My dad was born in 55.
So, you know, different times, man.
Yeah.
And I often feel like when you look back on those times, you kind of have to say to yourself, look, you do not understand the life and pressure people are under back then.
Yeah. You just don't know the backstory, and I got a bit annoyed about it and stuff like that, but at the same sense, she obviously has her reasons too.
And you have to respect, you know, at that time.
I found it hard. Like, I was going, fuck her and fuck that. And then, you know, when I did talk to my daddy's cousin, then I sort of went...
Do you think you becoming a parent yourself maybe think, oh, geez, I can see how difficult this is if you're, you know, not financially or economically or stable?
Well, they were financially 100% fine, so they were. There was no worries about money, like, with them. But...
okay, wow.
They were... I think it was more to do with family and, like, of an uncle who was a priest and stuff, and maybe was going to be further in the Catholic Church, you know, that way. I don't know. I'm hoping it's that. Wow. Not that it makes it right, but it's just...
Fuck. That is absolutely mental. And
fucking could be related to fucking Michelle O'Neill.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. That's why you probably don't want to meet her, because you don't want to realise, you'll be like, oh God, I can either confirm or deny she's my cousin.
Yeah, but she was born in Cork, so that's the off for me.
It's true. Maybe there was another adoption.
Maybe.
We're like doing live I'd love to do a long lost family, right? Where I would like do a skit, right? And you go, let's pretend I was using you, and I go, right, Paddy, your long lost dad is in the cafe, and Paddy, you know, goes, and the big camera follows you, the big walk, and then as you walk in, I'd have your dad there, and you're hugging and you're kissing, and you spend 6 hours together, and then someone comes in, oh, sorry, wrong guy. Your dad's cafe over there, it's the other calf. And you spend 6 hours bonding and crying and hugging and kissing, and then you have to go, well, I was just some random guy in the street. And you have to go and meet this other guy and start the whole crying and thing again. Like, I'd actually love to do that.
Did you say no? Can I stay with him?
Can I stay with him? I've bonded with him over the last 6 hours. Like, you know what I mean? That is absolutely... So are you... I was Googling you the other day, and I read an article there saying that you're going on tour across Ireland. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Oh, and tell me where you're hitting.
I haven't anywhere to confirm yet.
Oh, fucking hell. I feel like I'm interviewing a politician.
I haven't said any dates yet. So
you haven't said any dates yet?
I want to go everywhere. I want to go in every 32 county. I want to do a gig in every 32 counties.
You want to do so you want to do a gig in every county in Ireland?
Yeah.
Is that what the plan?
Yeah.
Mate, that would be absolutely cracking.
Yeah.
So,
going to be a pain in the hole.
Leitrim, where are you going to get a venue in Leitrim? You have to do a fucking spar or a Centra.
Like
just stand in the cab.
I haven't done a spar.
Spar and Centra. Just fucking do a Centra as the truckies are coming in. Leitrim, if you are from Leitrim and you do listen to this podcast, I apologise and I'm sorry for your existence.
Leitrim's a lovely place.
Leitrim. Well, do you know where I was recently? I went to Sligo for the very, very first time. Have you ever been to Sligo?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my review of Sligo. Absolutely stunning.
Did you do a gig in it?
No, I went away for a break. And 2 nights I stayed down in the Radisson Hotel in Sligo.
Did you go on your own?
No, I didn't go on my own. I went away.
That's a different type of break.
Is that the
Yeah.
one up beside like Ross's Point sort of?
Yeah.
It's lovely,
You went for a dirty 2 nights.
I'm not confirming or denying what I did or what I didn't do. I went for a professional weekend away, working.
Working on some bird in the fucking hotel
Excuse
room.
Paddy, the language. The language on this. Your daughter is here.
She doesn't understand.
She doesn't understand. She's looking at me. She's like, "What's your man doing? You be feeling your boss." Right, listen to this. So I went to Sligo, right? You been to Sligo? Mm-hmm. Okay, gorgeous place. I was a bit bored.
Not much to do.
No, maybe it was the time of the year that I went. But I must say, when I went walking around and all that kind of, one of the most gorgeous counties I've ever had a look at. But the town centre was a bit quiet and was just a bit, it was a bit meh. The hotel was phenomenal. But my biggest bugbear at the moment is the hotel was amazing, but there was families there, and they had kids with them, and they let the kids run around the fucking hotel
What's wrong, Matt?
on iPads, screaming and shouting.
They're on their holidays too.
I know, yeah, but screaming and shouting, Paddy.
Well then, you know what you need to do? You need to book in the adults only fucking hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But I know that now.
Yeah.
I love how you're talking to me like I owe you money. like
No, but I
I
mean-
just like, what annoyed me was all the kids.
Is this the
running around.
first time you've done this? Like,
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is like I enjoyed it. It was brilliant, but then there was loads of kids running around, and I was just a bit like, oh, fucking these kids.
are
Are
you
fucking
at that?
annoying
What
me.
age are you? You don't mind me asking.
I'm 40.
Right, so you're 40. So you're starting to get the old man syndrome.
No, I'm not. I've had old man syndrome since I was 25.
But you've no kids either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've
So
had.
you don't understand. You have no idea. You're
I
like,
understand it, yeah.
Why the fuck do they not control their children? Do you know? It's like, why did your mom with the pit bull fucking let it bark at me walking past the fence? You know, he couldn't stop it. It was just.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I've no problem with kids and all that kind of stuff. But when the kids are running around, running on the stairs, falling and banging their heads, you kind of think to yourself, like, seriously, because and iPads. Like I remember, like one night we were there and we were sitting having a drink, and this avalanche of fucking iPads started, and everyone was looking around, and it was just like full. And I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" It was just a nice quiet area, and next thing you know, kids were running, chairs were fucking, glass spilt over. I was just like, nothing wrong with having kids,
Yeah.
but
Do you not watch Tom and Jerry when you were younger?
didn't have much of a childhood, Paddy, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I did watch Tom and Jerry, yeah.
Yes, you know it was a bit chaotic, wasn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. And like,
See, if you watch Tom and Jerry, it's not actually about a cat and a mouse. You know what?
what's it about?
It's about 2 kids,
Yeah,
but they couldn't have that. They had to have it like 2 animals. They couldn't have 2 kids hitting each other over the head with a fucking hammer and a screwdriver. That was the initial idea of Tom and Jerry.
really.
Yeah, and that was the nanny. The nanny was the tights that you seen, but it was always shot below her legs. You never seen the top of her. Do you remember that?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I
So
think
when you watch Tom and Jerry, you only ever seen the tights down to the slippers.
right.
You
Oh,
only
yes.
seen the bottom of the legs.
Yeah.
So the perspective of it was seeing it from kids' angle. This is the way kids see
You're
it.
seeing it from kids, the way
Yeah,
kids view things.
This is a war. It was a war between 2 kids, but they couldn't have 2 kids hitting each other with hammers and blowing each other up with explosives and stuff. So then they changed it to 2 animals.
And they do it from the kids' perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what it's like for kids in the kids' world.
I see what you mean. But still, though, they
It
should.
didn't mean you.
They still
It
shouldn't be
didn't-
fucking
didn't-
banging their heads off stairs
It
and stuff
didn't.
like
It
that.
didn't. Well, that's what happens with kids. It really is.
But
As much
when
as
you
try.
go away with your family and stuff like obviously, look, I've been on holidays with my brother and his kids in Spain,
went
in
down-
campsites. I've been to campsites, right, where it's full of kids. And when I'm in an environment full of kids, I'm totally on board with it.
Right.
Kids, they're on their holidays. They want to have Coke and pizza and chips
Why
and go
was
swimming.
Sligo not their holidays? No.
Sligo probably was, yeah, it was their holidays. But what I'm saying to you is you're in a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
right? You're in a restaurant or in a bar, an adults-only bar, like, it has to be over 18, and there's kids running
What
around.
time is this at?
Oh, 10 o'clock, 9 p.m., 10 p.m.?
At 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit much.
Oh, I've no problem with kids being in hotels and going to the swimming pool and they're away for a weekend with their family. I'm totally iPads, but it's like when you're sitting down having a pint,
No, I get that.
and next thing you
When
know,
we're in a restaurant or we would shout at them and go, you can't because these people have paid in their restaurant
exactly,
to have a meal
but
or whatever. Yes,
all day, run around, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But like there was a
Night
time when
time,
I was actually walking up the stairs to go to the bed, to go to the apartment, to the room, and I couldn't get up the stairs because one kid was kicking the shit out of another kid on the stairs, and I had to be like, guys, can I?
You should have done one punch for
No,
Andre and
but like, they're not my kids, so I don't give. And I know I don't come across as a bit of a Grinch here now, but my point is at 10 o'clock, if I'm having a pint, if I'm having a pint at 10 o'clock, the last thing I want to do in a bar is turn around and see two kids kicking the fuck out of each other next to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, maybe go and do that somewhere else. This is an adult area.
Yeah.
In the daytime, do it, but it was just chaos. But at night time, it was still chaos.
Yeah.
But do you see my point where I'm coming from now? Yeah. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
There you go. Absolutely dare you fucking
But I get
go.
what you're saying. It's at that time of night, yes, but at the same sense too, it's one of them ones where you can't go to the hotel and say to them, listen,
Oh, but I wouldn't go. No, I wouldn't go up. I would never go up to a parent. Imagine if you were away for a weekend with your lovely kids and I went up and said, excuse me, sir, can you control your kids? I would never do that. Do you know what I would do? I'd say, leave them do that and I'll just go somewhere else. That's what we did.
Yeah.
I was like, we just moved to a different area.
Yeah.
We said, look, leave them do what they're doing.
Have the bath filled with champagne, no?
No. No, I wouldn't be.
Rose petals and
Rose
candles,
petals.
no?
I can't either confirm or deny that actually happened, Paddy.
Eating chocolate out of on summer.
So do you know what we did? We moved from our section where it was noisy with kids. We moved to a quiet area. I never complained. I just went, let the kids do their thing, and we'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that was a perfect. But I would never complain about that.
Yeah.
But my point is that, like,
Was the person you were with, were they from Sligo?
No,
Right. Had they ever been to Sligo before?
no.
Are they Protestant?
Patrick, I don't understand why someone's religion
Because I'm just saying, like,
comes into
it's like this
anything.
whole thing. I don't know if you like. There's a whole debate at the minute about the United Ireland and stuff like that. I just wouldn't like to think that you were with somebody who was Protestant and from a unionist background, and you took them down to the south of Ireland, and they're like, if this what United Ireland's going to be, just a bunch of kids running about beating the fuck out of each other with iPads, like we don't want to be a part of that.
No. I think that person is fine
Right.
for United
So
Ireland.
they are Protestant then.
No, I think they're fine for United Ireland.
Right.
I don't
They're
think they have a
Protestant.
problem with United Ireland
They're Protestant.
because they'll fucking have no fucking other choice, will they? hey, banter! Hey, this is what it's about.
Listen, you can say it.
We can neither confirm or
live,
deny.
You live in a Protestant area. I don't.
I know.
Put that out as a clip.
But
You put that out as a clip, then you get clipped.
what's it called?
Paul Clark. A man has been shot dead today.
Southerner Cork comedian Andrew Ryan, and then Paddy Mcdonnell. Paddy just turned with the back. I'm doing the SSC. They're 60 tickets.
I believe you were saying something on your podcast, Andrew.
I just noticed that now on his head that you could literally walk into any post office and just be like, "How are you, Mary? Give me your fucking money, Mary. I'll talk to you. I'll text you tomorrow."
Isn't it mad that during COVID, like, you had to wear a mask to go into the post office?
I know.
Like, bank robbers must have been like, what? Fucking, what was the big deal when we were doing it?
It was absolutely mental. So, but yeah, like I think, did you see the part? Oh, you didn't see the thing. We watched the Patrick Keelty thing about the United Ireland. It was brilliant what he said. He said, things will have to change if there is United Ireland. There's going to be 1 million people. This is what he said: 1 million people in the north of Ireland who identify as British or Unionists, and they have to be, welcomed in and told that there is a place for them, and then Tommy Tiernan said to him, "Where do you start?" And he goes, "Well, you could stop by singing Up the Ra in the dressing room of a football match, for starters, because you're asking them to come." But yet we don't have to move. We have to get them to come into us. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting on that. But I have a feeling that when this goes out, I know there's going to be some movement on the protocol. Apparently, there've been meetings and stuff like that. But I kind of losing a lot of hope on any sort of storm getting back up this year. I just kind of feel it's getting to the point now where something's going to happen soon.
This is the first time
has
that
to
I've
happen.
realised that money didn't come into it.
In what do you mean?
Well, we'll only have a United Ireland because the economy needs it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
We'll only have a United Ireland whenever it suits everybody prefer to be United Ireland. Do you get where I'm coming from? America has a lot of interest in the island of Ireland. If it was one island, it can sell a hell of a lot better.
Oh,
the Americans
100%,
can sell it as I think we'll be fucking controlled by the Yanks more than fucking the British ever controlled us. I do, like, if it ever goes to United Ireland and America gets its claws, which it already has done, most of its businesses is here, and the Irish government is so corrupt that they're not paying taxes.
Well, we have a very low corporation tax rate down south. I think it was 12%. Now, I know that the European Union brought up the corporation tax for every country in Europe to have a minimum corporation tax, which I think is about 15%. But I think Ireland negotiated a special deal where you pay 15% only over a certain amount of earnings.
Yeah.
So we still technically have a 12% and 15%. But we're doing that to attract Facebook, Apple, all these companies, because we've got highly educated people down south.
I get that. And
we want those tech jobs. We want to be innovation and move forward, you know?
Like, if the fucking wanted to bring the UFC, like, the north of Ireland has the best fighters in the whole of the fucking country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, my point being is, it was costing the British money. The British always held on to it. It had this wee part up the top here. There's reasons why they kept it. One of them was probably because of the wars, and you had the shipyard here.
Yeah.
You had all
steel.
The
There's a lot of money back then. Yeah.
And then the harbours of like Derry and stuff like that. The British forces used to be full navy ships.
Why didn't they take Donegal?
Exactly, do you know, so but they thought they could control it. They didn't think that the Catholics would outnumber the Protestants, even in 100 years, never mind, you know, so many years. So I think it's one of them ones. But yeah, no, we do have to remember, I have this thing where when you're treated away, why should you treat the person that done that new back?
Oh, yeah.
Don't become as bad as them.
No. To rise above it, don't you?
I think also, I mean, I support Celtic and a lot of people, oh, it's fucking sectarian football. I'll be honest, I don't think they should sing IRA songs at the Celtic match.
I don't think you should sing IRA songs anywhere.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's there's times and places that you can sing your songs. And I think that goes even with the Orange Order. I mean, I couldn't stand here and say, oh, but they should be allowed to sing songs when they want to sing them in a certain place. Do you know what I mean? If that doesn't stand up with the Orange Order as well. I think that we need to be a lot more understanding that they do have a wee bit of culture and they have whatever they believe in. So you have to be accepting of that. You know, if we want them to accept the Irish language and accept that we're Irish or we live on the island of Ireland, we're going to have to accept that they have certain things as well.
Yeah.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
And we have to welcome that.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that has to be part. That has to be part of civilization.
And like, if you look at the Irish rugby team, we've identified we have two national. We have Ireland's cause,
which I think is ridiculous, by the way.
Do you think so? But I do not think that we've done that because we want to accommodate. We understand people from this island are a little bit different. Not every player that comes, the players that come down from Ulster.
I think there should just be one song.
So you should get rid of the Soldier song and just have Ireland's cause.
If it's Soldier song has to go, then it has to go. I don't think Ireland Call's a great song, to be honest with you. But you know, I think if there's going to be a thing, obviously all that has to come into play. The tricolour was always traditionally a flag that was meant to unite both sides anyway on the island, if you know the history of it. I don't know if you do.
I don't know the history of the tricolour flag.
The tricolour flag was given, it was a present for the tricolour in France, which was a flag that united the people in France. And the three colours and pieces in the middle. So it was brought to Ireland. The green was for the Irish, the Catholic faith. The white was for peace. And the orange was for the Protestant faith.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it was a flag that was meant to unite the country. Because traditionally the Irish flag, if you watch Braveheart, you'll see like a green flag with a golden harp.
Yeah, it used to be a green with a harp on it.
So
that was the original flag.
That's the original flag. And then they brought in that other flag because when you go back to like the 1798 rebellion, the United Irishmen, Wolfe Tone was a Presbyterian.
Yeah.
Henry Joy McCracken. All these guys were Presbyterian Protestants who were treated as poorly as the Irish and Catholic people. They were Irish Protestants, but they were treated as poorly as the Catholics. But they were all educated and had money, but they weren't able to own land in a sense, and they weren't able to be involved in politics because they weren't Anglican. They weren't Church of Ireland. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then after that rebellion, they changed the laws to make it Protestant Catholic thing where they started giving them similar rights to Anglicans. And that created the divide in the country. And then they made it up that it was a Catholic Protestant thing. It wasn't always. It was a fucking British and fucking Irish thing, like.
Yeah.
But
The Catholic Protestant thing came later, didn't it?
100%.
And now it's
So
nothing
it-
to do with that anymore. Now it's about identity, isn't it?
I mean, like how many
You know what I
people
mean? It's
that
about land and
how
stuff.
many people that stand and shout at the other person, don't go to mass and don't go to church.
Yeah.
Like,
But do you know what the mad thing about it is? I was just thinking about my life. This like last weekend there, I was in Liverpool doing shows, and I opened in Liverpool, and I said one of my first jokes was said like, coming to Liverpool is like coming to my first cousin's house. You know what I mean? I feel very naturally, like, you know, the way when you say when you go to Tyrone, you felt, why do I feel comfortable here? I feel very comfortable, like, in Liverpool. And the thing about it is like, I would, you know, don't get me wrong, like, I love being Irish, and I love being from Cork, and I love the North and all this kind of stuff. But I also really like England. I also love London. I love British people. I've no angle to. It's not a lived. This isn't a lived experience for me growing up here. Okay, so I can't sit here. I can't sit here and be like.
Did grow up. I mean, I grew up with the physical presence of British Armed Forces on the streets,
and I will never be able to relate to that.
Yeah, and I grew up, but I don't know. You didn't see the last show I done, but the show I done is about meeting actually a British soldier from England. But me and him got on like a house on fire when we were on holiday.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have happened. It should, if you go by what they talk about here and the way things are, I shouldn't be friends with a British soldier. You were always told not to be. You were always told not to fucking have anything to do with them. But at the end of the day, they're human beings.
Yeah. And they were probably 16, 17 coming over here, were
They
they?
probably didn't have a job, and that was the only job was available to them. Don't get me wrong, there were probably ones who were just genuinely in it to fucking go out, because war and armies and stuff like that opens up the gates for psychopaths, and that could be anywhere. There were psychopaths in the IRA, there were psychopaths in the UVF, UDA, the British Army, the fucking RUC. I mean, there was nobody fucking hid from that. It's the same way as fucking there was a lot of paedophiles in the Catholic Church, because they were able to get away with the fucking shit, so that's why they done it. That's why they joined it, you know.
Because there was a wall of like protection and secrecy and all that. Yeah.
And it brought them around children, you know. So that it always paves its way. If there's a fucking fight in a street, there's always some fucking wankers going to get involved in it for the wrong reasons.
Sounds like the local fucking.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just the law of life. But my point being is, I haven't seen that bit, but what Paddy Keelty's saying is, we're going to have to accept them in the same way as we wanted them as to accept this. There has to be compromise.
Yeah, I know. He also made a very good point. He said, like, can you imagine, like, down if there is a United Ireland and, you know, the DUP or the UUP, and they hold like 12 seats in the Irish Parliament, and next thing you know, Sinn Féin or Fianna Fáil can't form a majority government. Next thing you know, there's a rainbow coalition. You've got Fine Gael, the Green Party, and bloody UUP in government. The UUP could be in a rainbow coalition. You know what I mean? Like, we have to accept that, like, you know, there is whatever, say, 1 million people who identify as British living on an island where it's going to be set. So they have to have a voice. They have to be welcomed. If we want to unite Ireland, we have to change.
Yeah, there has to be somebody in government talking for them. It's 100%.
100%, yeah.
And that, do you know, that's maybe why we have a lot of tension still. Because within the Catholic communities, we had Sinn Féin representation who were people that were working class, involved in the Republican movement, but they were working class. And they know what to fight for their communities.
Yeah.
You go into the Shankill, they're voting the DUP. And the DUP are these people that are middle to upper class, living in fucking houses, there's nobody in the DUP living in the Shankill. There may be wee minions that work for the party, but not the main fucking guys that stand and fucking fighting for what the grassroots needs is. So when you go into the Shankill, you see that they haven't got loads of community stuff set up and stuff. They need a lot more people. Like I've said to Jamie Brayson before, you know, he has a bit of a voice. Not all the loyalist people like him, but he has a bit of a voice and where he's from. Use it for the good. You know, he was complaining about the Field and Football, which is a big community festival. I says, I'll help you fill in the forms for you to have one. Because there's a thing in this country that if you're having something, the other side's entitled till a grant.
Yeah.
So it's the way it works. So there'd be money there for him to have that. And there's no reason why he shouldn't be having big comedy nights and music nights and a big tent. But they'll have to give up something for it. If it's lighting a bonfire, they might have to give that up. But they can still call it the 12 celebrations and have it as a big fucking festival of the 12. They don't need to call it an Irish name. They just, you know, do you know what I'm saying?
To be
they just need people within the working class communities and the Protestant communities. They need representation in there. They need people fighting for their needs the same way as we have it in the Catholic areas.
Yeah.
And because it does look like the Catholics are getting everything, but the Catholics got nothing for years. It's
But I
just
don't think
neither
it looks like the Catholics are getting everything. It's just the Catholics are just proactive.
they're educated.
And whereas I think the unionist people, it's a bit like, come on, you can have...
Unionist people used to always just get everything handed to them in terms of housing and votes and jobs in the shipyard. But it's the biggest example. We're not making it up. You're not... You know, what was there? 40,000 people working in the shipyard. 39,000 were Protestant. I mean, that shows you. I mean, I've heard stories of people's family where a Catholic man got a job in it because he was from a street that had the same name as a street in East Belfast, and they didn't check, and they just thought he was a Protestant, so they gave him the job because of the street he was from. People changed their names just to... Do you know what I mean? So stuff like that. But that was all handed to them by the British government. So the British government have a lot to play in it because they made them think, we've given you this wee country, it's your wee country. That's why they say it's our wee country. This is your wee country, nobody can take it away from you. It's all for Protestants, just Protestants. You'll have all the jobs, you'll have all that. And then they wiped it all out. And they've sold them down the river, not once, not twice, but maybe fucking 20 times. So the Protestant people are like, well, what the fuck's happening here? We fucking always identified as British, English, fucking whatever. And we're loyal to you. And now it just seems like they're just fucking letting us go. It's costing too much money. There's nothing here for them anymore.
It's interesting, man. I wouldn't be surprised, if one day you wake up and the British government turn around to the unionists and say, you either take the protocol or there's going to be a fucking vote.
Yeah. No, I do think that
and
is...
they realise that, I think... Because when I lived in England, no one fucking had a clue. They didn't give a shit.
No.
They didn't give a shit about them.
They don't even know what's going on over there.
And I have friends who are unionists, and I just think they get a bad press when they're actually my unionist friends.
Jamie Brayson
some of my best friends.
London, if Jamie Brayson was in London, what would they call him?
Oh, he'd be a right wing.
No, but what would they call him? What all he would have to do is talk, and what would they say?
Irish.
There's an Irish lad.
There's an Irish lad, yeah. But can you tell me, what... They say, we identify as British. What has somebody in fucking Middlesbrough got in common with somebody from fucking Armagh? You know what I mean? Like a unionist from Armagh or a unionist from Larne or something like that. These are completely different cultures. The way, in the UK... There
is different if you go to Liverpool and you
Oh, yeah, I understand that, yeah. But it's kind of like... just the link seems so tenuous. It just seems so thin.
They've definitely nothing in common with the southern part of England, But absolutely nothing.
But since I've...
The north, maybe. I've been to parts of the north of England where you would go, can see Carlisle and fucking Larne are very similar.
Yeah, but there you go, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And I drive past both of them without stopping.
No, but you know what I mean? I was in Carlisle, it is very sectarian.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So, there is places that you can say, and I suppose a lot of people here watch fucking UTV and BBC instead of RTE.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
So they watch the same programme.
But you also got to understand is down south, I grew up watching Coronation Street in EastEnders.
No, you didn't.
I fucking did.
I bet it was Askelia.
No, BBC One. I grew up watching...
Could you imagine that?
Oh.
Luke Kelly
Tom,
comes in.
come on! In the what's the pub called? The Rovers Return. It goes...
Camel to do. Go get you some Rovers Return.
Tom, come on, Rovers Return.
Camel Jack Duckworth.
Paddy, yeah, but final thing I'll say to you on this is that there's 260,000 British people that live in the south of Ireland on the last census that have British passports. And they're all very welcome. And I don't hear them complaining about not being British down south.
They say fuck all.
Because they're enjoying
themselves. They say fuck all.
They say fuck all. But
say fuck all.
But it's I just feel that community up the north and the unionist community up here where I live.
I get why.
I genuinely, I'm an advocate for the area that I live in, the people that I live in, but it's the people at the top are fucking it, ruining it for most people. Yeah. And also, if there ever became a United Ireland or a vote, and I understand there's a very contentious issue, right? I know people always comment on YouTube whenever we talk about this kind of subject, and it's not a lived experience for me living up here, so I can't really... But I would say that if we did ever have it, I would really love the South that really, really make an effort to accommodate the unionist people and let them make sure they feel valued.
Do you think the South wants the North? Truthfully.
Depends who you talk to on what day of the week.
Well,
I don't know,
you growing up, if someone had said to you, we're going to take the North in.
This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a United Ireland.
Right, okay.
But tell me, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
So, I like the idea of going on holiday, but where are we going? We're not telling you until you pay for it. Okay, I turn up at the airport. Where are you going? Eastern Russia. I'm not fucking going there. I like the idea, but I need to know what it's going to look like and what's going to. But you can only tell so much. But my point is that if I had a question, do I want to get Ireland? For me, yes, I do. But to me, flag waving and feeling Irish, I'm already comfortable enough with my Irishness that I don't need to have a flag or an Irish language above a side street, right? On the side street, because I know myself. I'm not insecure about my identity, but I understand that's different for you guys because you guys have always had your identity maybe challenged or your or nationality.
Prior
to
me going to America in the late 90s, the early 2000s, right, changed my opinion on a lot of things.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what?
Well, I would have grew up in West Belfast. I didn't know any fucking Protestants from the Shankill or anybody from anywhere else. But I went over there and we were like a wee fucking goldfish bowl compared to the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was over there, I was friends with Indians, Pakistanis, fucking people from South America.
There's a whole world out there, man.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was just... But there was no... There was people with different skin living in the same street as us. Mm. And there was no issue. There was no problems.
Yeah.
There were fucking Muslim. There was Jews. There was every type of religion. There was no hassle.
Yeah.
It was your normal, get up in the morning, the sun was shining, they went and done what they done, you went and done what you done. You passed them, you said hello, they said hello back. And life was fucking sweet.
Yeah. But over here, it seemed to have not.
But I understand why it happened and why it was there. But my idea of a United Ireland is it doesn't matter where you're from, what you are, what you identify are, or what you say you are, what your country, your religion, your anything. If you're a nice person, there's no issue.
Oh, United Ireland should be for all.
Yeah.
Not just Irish, not just
because
British.
I don't
it's
get
for French,
Irish.
it's for Brazilian.
I don't get Irish people that are racist. I can't. I can't
How
understand.
a country that has the amount of Irish immigrants that have left this country to go for work, the amount of Irish people that are actually in prison in Britain, the amount of Irish homeless people in Britain, the amount of Irish people that got social housing in America, and you know what I mean?
I just don't get it.
Oh, but fucking it annoys me.
So, if you're going to be nice to immigrants coming in, you also have to see the Unionists and the Protestant people as your fellow countrymen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that a lot of people need to think a lot hard and
that doesn't mean that I don't expect to turn around and say to them, you have to have an Irish passport. You have to.
No, you don't. Yeah.
You have to identify as Irish, because that was done onto us, and I didn't like it. So I don't want that done with anybody else.
Exactly. That's a
so
very good point.
If they have their identity, they can fucking live here and they're part of the country. If they want to have dual citizenship, I have no issue with that as well. But I don't expect them to be forced to speak Irish. I don't expect them to play Irish sports. I don't expect them... It'd be great if they joined in. But don't be forcing anything on people that they don't want to. And they also have to recognise what they identify as.
And also allow them celebrate their culture
100%.
as well.
100%. It needs to be done.
Has to be.
We need to understand them a wee bit more. It is hard for, like, people have the argument and go, well, you watch it. It's a fucking anti-Catholic thing. I'll be honest. I was baptised a Catholic. I don't practice it.
Neither do I.
So I don't genuinely take offence.
Yeah, but
I know it is like.
But this is where people we need to rise above certain things.
Yes.
And think long term rather than think a video on TikTok or something you heard on Instagram.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
Listen, Paddy, thanks so much for coming in. Tickets are available for Paddy at the SSE Arena. Go on to online
and the Millennium Forum
and the Millennium Forum as well. We can either confirm or deny that those tickets have sold out.
We'll
by
be
the time
going.
This podcast goes out. But listen, Paddy, it's great to see you.
Thank you very much. Gurmila Mogat.
So long.